Where do we start? There's been so much going on. We've been off for a couple of months. Should we start where everyone else has started this year? Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari in the Scarlet. Goddamn, I have a bit of a semi just talking about it.
He's looking good.
It's lights out and away we go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Formula One True North, the Canadian Formula One podcast. Back here with all the boys. First time 2025. I missed your faces.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's been since before
been
Christmas.
It's a little unbelievable, but I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here we are. For anyone watching on YouTube or Spotify or whatever, you may notice something a little bit different about where we are. And really exciting is that we were able to secure major sponsorship from Formula One itself to help pay for this brand new studio.
Yes.
Do you think anyone would buy it?
Not even almost.
No one's gonna
No.
No one's buying that. No. We are actually at Grid Studios right now. They're hosting us, their brand new space here in Toronto. And they have an amazing podcast studio. It's awesome. We're going to be here for the next few weeks. And then afterwards, we will see. But Grid Studios, check them out.
Plug.
Done.
Yeah.
Where do we start? There's been so much going on. We've been off for a couple of months. Should we start where everyone else has started this year? Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari in the Scarlet. Goddamn, I have a bit of a semi just talking about it.
He's looking good.
He's looking real good.
Told you.
Brad.
I called it.
You did.
He's looking real good.
What did you call?
Yeah.
That
A bit of a hard on over here?
not just a hard on. If Lewis Hamilton comes in here, he'll probably like drop his pants and just like give him.
He wouldn't need to. I don't know if you've seen those photos too. There's a couple that looks like he's smuggling bananas, like he's Chiquita Banana over there. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. You know what? At the beginning of season 3, I want to say I missed you guys. It's been fantastic having a little bit of time off. A lot of stuff, like you said, has happened in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, our dude in red, that's a good place to start.
Oh God, yes. Like, I mean, I cannot commend the PR team of Ferrari and how they just rolled out literally everything. Like the way they had like the little signals on the first photo of him with the F40 in the background and the Enzo Ferrari's house in the background as well with the windows too, like all the subtleties.
Yeah.
I was just like a master class of like launching. That's right. We have the best driver in the world.
It's like the opposite of Checo's release.
There you go. Exactly. He was released ever so slightly into the abyss of why are you still in Formula One? But let's not go there. That's going to be another tangent all to itself. So, like, I want to ask you guys, like, what did you think about the release on top of that? And then seeing him in that SF23.
You know what? I think that there's a lot of pressure that's going to be on Lewis in this one, right? Like he's taking a seat from a great driver who had a spectacular season, Carlos Sainz, and he's up against, Ferrari's quote unquote golden boy. They've put a lot of money, time, and effort into building this team around Charles Leclerc, and I think somebody like Freddie Vasseur has the foresight and the relationships. I mentioned it in our last season's podcast about Freddie being the plug of the grid, right? He's the type of guy that, everybody on the grid respects him. And it's just one of those scenarios that he knew how to pick and choose and put the right people in the right places. Cause like if he did this a year ago, like Lewis Hamilton would have come in during a clown show. Right. And so even the year before that, like I actually feel bad for Charles Leclerc at some points because I think that Charles, has been with a great team with an absolute clown backup. And we've laughed at them during pit stops for the last, 5 years up until last year, right? And Freddie Vasseur got in there, made the moves, and I think that team's starting to gel. And I think the last piece might be something like Lewis Hamilton. That being said, back to my first point, it's a lot of pressure, right? Like, is it going to be able to perform? Is he going to be able to perform? Is him and the car going to be able to perform? There's a lot of gelling that needs to happen over the next, 40 days, give or take. And I just think that, it's a lot for any driver, even someone like Lewis Hamilton, to put on that pressure. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got going on.
I think when he moved to a team like a Ferrari, the whole world is watching right now Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton, or at least the whole F1 world. And like you said, Drew, the spotlight is on him, right? So there's definitely pressure. He's going against Charles Leclerc, which he's a phenomenal driver in his own league. You know, he's been with Ferrari as well. To see the dynamic work between them, that's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be a very good balanced dynamic between them. They both seem mature. They both seem like they have their head on straight. Going back to the whole pressure thing, you know, he had the testing with the I think the previous year model car. You know, he crashed it, and from what I read, he caused some significant damage. And that's expected, you know, for someone who's going to a new team, testing out a car. But again, not precisely a good start. So you could already kind of see a little bit. He wants to push the car, perform, and you know, slightly early testing days mistakes are coming. So hopefully that doesn't affect his confidence. I hope he excels. I hope he kills it in Ferrari. And looking forward to it.
I don't think that a lot of people are talking about the crash. I don't think it's a big deal. I think that's what you do in testing.
Yeah.
I think, you know, you push and you push and you push until you break it.
Yes.
And that's what testing's for.
Then you find the limit.
One, and then you find the limit.
You find the limit.
Right? You push as hard as you can. And if you're not crashing, you know, you don't want to like completely obliterate it. But if you're not pushing to the point of failure, right, you're not really learning about those. And especially coming into a new system and a new set of dynamics in that car, I think it's to be expected, and it probably won't be the last time, right? But that's what you want from him. That's what you brought him in here for, to like push these cars to the absolute limit so he can drive his very, very best. Pressure is going to be absolutely insane. What do you? So we talked a little bit. You touched a little bit, and you touched a little bit about Leclerc.
We're all touching a little.
We're
bit.
all touching.
Yeah, we're all touching.
We're all
So
touching.
much love in here. Oh my God.
I think there's a lot of touching now. Wait till the after party.
That's it.
Right? Leclerc.
Yeah.
Do you think he has got his head in the right place to be able to compete hard and be a good teammate with him? You know, years past, we've seen him push, and you know he's made some mistakes in qualifying, and we kind of would like put our hands on our head and be like, that's like such a Charles move, right? Last year he was much better. He really nailed qualifying. Is he in the right space to have a teammate like Hamilton at this point?
Yes. I think last year was one of his better years. All those things that you were talking about, those little mistakes, the pushing the car too hard, all that stuff. I think it's a combination of him learning those limits of pushing that car to the edge, and also the car getting better. You have Freddie Vasseur in there now, who's got the aero team, and everyone else is working together solidly. And I think that in combination with him just maturing a little bit definitely helps in a big, big way. And I think that, he had a 4-win season last year. Carlos had a 3-win season. Ferrari really picked it up in every way that they needed to. And I just think that if anyone was going to go up against somebody like Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari, I'm glad it was Charles, because I think he knows that he's the long-term future of Ferrari if he wants to stay there and if Ferrari's going to deliver him a car, because I think he is a future champion. I think he could be a multiple future champion if the team gives him the car. And so Lewis Hamilton, who knows, right? Like, he might get there, have a dog year, and then just want to retire and just say, like, listen, this is it for me. You know, it is what it is. And then now you have what? And Charles is going to be around for a while. So I think that, this is his year to not worry about that. I think Lewis has more pressure on him than Charles does, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that based on just to add on what you just said, Drew, like his performance last year, winning Monaco, I think with all of the races that he's done, his hyper speed when it comes to qualifying, I think at this point it's the perfect time to actually match him with Lewis Hamilton, because now he's got the backbone, he's got the experience, he knows the team very, very well, and you have this like superstar, 7-time world champion coming in, probably on the back foot of his career at this point, and probably just looking for a 8th championship, and then that's it. So you have Leclerc that's going to continue, hopefully, his momentum into 2025 and hopefully into 2026, and keep on winning races. And he'll be ahead of Lewis Hamilton within the first 5 races, because Lewis will still need to kind of figure out how to communicate. Even just the language barrier alone is going to be one thing too.
Sure.
That's something that they have to, consider. And new vehicle, new ways of being able to understand how to go through the car, how the paces, how to use even just the steering alone, and all of that. Out of all of that, all of the inputs that Lewis Hamilton is going to be giving to the race engineers, who is going to benefit from that? Leclerc, because of the experience that Lewis Hamilton brings. They'll be sharing. There won't be like a Chinese wall between both drivers. I think it's going to be a fantastic year for Leclerc.
Why a Chinese wall?
I don't know. Just it's a saying.
I mean,
Of all the things you said,
Could
that's
have
the
been
one
an
thing I
Italian
hold
wall,
on.
you know?
what would you hang
Italian
on to?
wall.
A Mexican wall?
Yeah, that's where I was getting at with
There
it.
you go.
In light of recent events, maybe a Mexican wall might be a little more appropriate.
Maybe we can do that. But
I do agree though. I do know what you're saying, and like the overarching thing is that like will Charles benefit from Lewis's experience in his communication with the engineers and like help get that car up to the standard that Lewis would want and Charles would benefit 100. 100.
yeah,
To
looking forward
answer, your question, build up on your points. I think I have a really strong feeling that Charles is going to shine this year. I just to have a teammate like Hamilton come in, he has to, if he wasn't already in his zone last year, which we all know he did phenomenal. This is his year. He has to be in his zone. He has the maturity, he has the skill. That's no doubt about that. But to have a teammate like Hamilton, there's another, like, it's a little bit of pressure on him as well, right? He has to perform well. I think just like one of you said, I think the first 3-4 races, I think Charles is going to dominate for sure. Just Hamilton needs to build up and get used to the car. They're both, I think they're going to work really well together, share a lot of knowledge between them. And to your point, Drew, Charles and Ferrari are going to come out as on top of it, because Hamilton's only going to be there, who knows for how long, a year, 2, 3, But
Is he going to pull an Alonso and just like stick around?
could be.
You know what I mean?
We don't know. Could
don't
be.
know.
Yeah, but Ferrari's
What did
going
he sign?
It was a 2 for sure.
Two plus
2
forever?
plus, let's see.
Yeah, okay,
ambassadorship.
okay.
Was it?
That's
Ambassadorship,
the
like, there's
thing,
a
right?
whole
And
thing,
like,
right?
yeah, we don't know what the details are on that contract. But before we move on, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think, if everything remained constant from the end of last year, like the trajectories of all the drivers, like who do you think has the best shot of winning the 2025 championship?
Wow, that quick, huh?
You know what? We're here, and
All right.
we talked about Charles Leclerc, and like as a fast answer before you guys start to answer, I'm going to put that out there. Like I think Charles has the best bet based on the trajectory of last year. Like if you look at where Ferrari was going and like everything else, we're going to get to the flexi wings and all that conversation later. But,
Right.
I think that as of right now, my money, if I could bet preseason, that's where my
Well, you
money's
can
going.
bet preseason. So let's pause.
What, are we sponsored by Bodog now too, or what? Hey, Jesus Christ!
No, but like if this is where you're going with it,
Yes.
then let's make those predictions right now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. World champion, Leclerc.
Yep. Chuckles and buckles.
Oh my God, it's tough. Can you get it back to me? Go ahead.
How long is this?
There's 20 fucking drivers, by
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. McLaren,
There's 2 of them now.
Norris.
We're down.
Lando Norris.
Lando Norris. Okay,
Lando
I like
Norris,
it, I
okay.
like it.
I'm going to say Alonso. No, I'm kidding. I think Leclerc, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
okay.
Leclerc.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough
I wasn't
one,
prepared
man.
for this question
I know.
this early in the
I
episode. I had to
know, I
warm
know.
up to it, and here you are, fucking.
Sticking the turkey in before the oven preheats.
That's your analogy. What are we at? Like 325? We want to get to like 350.
At least 350.
Yeah, we're 25
Okay.
degrees.
Low and slow,
Yeah,
baby.
they're low and slow. I'm just gonna fucking say it, Hamilton.
Yeah?
Like
that
if
early.
we're gonna do if we're gonna do like bold predictions, I'm just gonna do a bold prediction.
That's really bold.
That is super
That's
bold.
super bold. Okay,
Yeah, I don't know.
okay. We're
Well,
here. We're here
if
for it.
that does happen, he will be the only other driver to win
F1 championship.
an
in his
F1
first
champion on
year.
his first year.
Yeah, with a new
He'll be
team.
the only one. The second one. The last one that was able to do that was when Manuel Fangio. That was it. So if that does happen, kudos to you, Walker, for calling that, and kudos to Lewis Hamilton not being just the 8th world champion, but the only other person to win their championship in the first year.
At a team.
That's
At a new team.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if I was putting tons of money on it, would I make that prediction right now?
Probably not.
Maybe not, but it's just like the residual hard on is just got me going hammered.
The
Oh
residual.
my God, we're back there.
Residual
Okay.
hard on is just
Okay.
nonstop.
The harding for the hammer. I like it.
All right, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Any
Okay.
other big questions you have before?
No,
we
no,
move
that
on?
was it.
That
I
was
just
it?
think that he kind of like, got to go.
Fair
on.
enough. Okay. Well, let's pick up on that question.
Sure.
Okay. Let's talk about the best driver lineup in F1 this year. Who has the
Oh,
strongest
wow.
driver pairing?
We're
Drew,
gonna go right back to it.
let's go.
Let's go to Ferrari.
Ferrari.
We got Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. That's like a 10 plus in my books.
Yeah.
I could
It's
give
a
a second, but you
strong-
guys still got to go. So that's a ridiculous lineup.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Williams, just because Sainz is there.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
this is
Okay.
gonna be an
Okay.
interesting one. So
Sainz and Albon for the
wanna-
strongest driver pairing.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
I like
Why
it.
explain that though? Bit?
Yeah.
Like talk
Just
it through it.
Just from what we see,
With all the championships collectively between the two of them, they're right there with the best.
Albon did fairly well. I'd say he had his moments where he did extremely well, right? So
Sure.
he has that going for him. Sainz is on a whole new level coming from Ferrari. I think both of them, they're going to kill it. You know, I really think they're going to have a shot at them bold prediction top 3 probably by the end of the year.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you the one sending me memes about how overrated Albon is because he's always next to a shit driver?
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
I plead the fifth.
just checking.
Plead the fifth.
Wow, that was cool.
Okay, strongest driver pairing.
I would say that I would stick with my boys in McLaren again because I hope that they've pretty much gone through all of the kinks, all of the bullshit between papaya rules and who's the main driver, who's the ace driver. Enough of that. Like they finally had a taste of a constructors. Now they need to win the drivers championship and possibly another constructors again.
I think that drivers, yes, I agree. That's my second shot. But I think that driver pairing is so close that the wins are going to be so divided equally among those two that there's going to be no front runner. It's going to get dicey very quickly.
So a storm is coming essentially.
Correct. I still think like last year's papaya rule, that whole thing, I don't think that's over yet.
So my answer is Ferrari. I think it's almost undeniable. McLaren is an interesting team though, right? For all the reasons that you guys just talked about. Like they have, Leclerc and Hamilton are two top drivers, right? But I feel like there's a certain maturity there. There's a certain, I guess, maturity. We'll stick with that. That will allow them to handle, two top drivers competing, kind of respectfully with each other throughout the season without, shit going sideways. I don't have the same faith in Lando and Oscar. I feel like they're too young. I feel like there's still an immaturity there. And I feel like from the top down, McLaren doesn't have the same kind of gravitas or structure as maybe a Mercedes does or as a Ferrari does. And I feel like what happened last year is they allowed this immaturity to fester, right? And it was like a mold and it just grew and then shit blew up, right? And they kind of got it under control, but I don't know if they're going to be able to kind of maintain that control if both cars are extremely competitive and both drivers are, because they both want to win, but I don't know if they're going to have the framework within the team to allow them to compete without them turning into like little bitches.
I mean, we've seen it before happen. 2016, Rosberg and Hamilton.
Yep.
Those two strong drivers.
Aggressive, young guys
Yeah.
going for the top, have a car that can win. And you're
But
100%
look
right.
what happened though. Here's that, and that's that.
Yeah,
goes to my
Rosberg
point.
won and dipped.
Yeah, Rosberg won and dipped. But who was number 2 in the drivers that year?
I don't know.
Hamilton. Who won constructors that year? Mercedes.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that they have. I mean, not to discount what you just said, Walker.
Yeah.
All of their their fights, not having solid ground between both drivers, not having the the experience and possibly even just the maturity of being able to run as a team. yes, that's a possibility that it could implode yet again, like with what happened last year. But the other side of that is maybe now they would finally fix everything. Zach Brown would be like, no, enough. Andrea Stella, no, enough. This is how we're going to run it. We'll give you guys proper cars. We'll give you guys proper strategy. And y'all's fight it between the both of you.
So that was kind of my point, right? Because I said, Nico and Hamilton, when they had that season halfway through or whatever, 3/4 through, Mercedes came down and be like, these are like the rules of engagement.
Yeah.
Like we're
It's
not
gotta
fucking
stop.
around. Like you either follow the rules or you're out.
Exactly.
Right?
You can't afford it.
We can't afford it.
Yeah, you can't afford
and McLaren last year had the opportunity to do the same thing, and they had papaya rules and whatever, but it felt like wishy-washy.
Yeah.
It didn't
Oh,
feel
hell yeah.
firm.
Even papaya rules didn't seem like they actually were rules. They were like papaya
Suggestions.
guidelines.
Yeah.
Papaya guidelines.
So I guess that's why I don't have confidence that McLaren as an organization and as a team is going to be able to handle those personalities and lay down the law the same way that a Mercedes did, or maybe as a Ferrari would, just because everything there seems like super buttoned down.
Yeah. Good points.
And I think too, so this is kind of a segue kind of point here. We're assuming, based on what I had said before about the trajectory of the teams at the end of the year, assuming that they're going to continue going this way. So McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes all on the way up. Red Bull on the way down. Those are your top 4 teams. Now, to your further point, which we talked about these flexi wings and McLaren being at the front of this like flexi wing controversy thing. So from the way I understand it, the FIA is like, yeah, that's all cool. Back wing, got to fix that up a little bit. We don't love your flexi extra, DRS lower or whatever they called it? This like sneaky DRS. Cool. They fixed that up. That's a no-go. But the front wing with the flexi thing, that is allowed because the FIA said, hey, all these teams are too deep into the development of this like flexi wing concept. And like Mercedes jumped on board right away. Ferrari obviously kicked up a shit because that's what Ferrari does. And Red Bull just caused a stink because, again, that's what just Red Bull does. And they didn't jump on board. So now you have McLaren and Mercedes taking this, and then you see their trajectory go up towards the end of the season. So the flexi wing did exactly what it was supposed to do. That being said, FIA said, hey, listen, 2025, you guys got until Spain with this like flexi wing concept, and then it's gone. So like we're going to allow you for X amount of races. Spain's like, what, a third into the season?
Yeah.
So that advantage that Mercedes and McLaren have with that flexi wing could disappear. So like to your point and where we're going with all, or where at least I was going with all this stuff is like McLaren might not even have a shot. Like we're assuming that they are going to have all the shots in the world. Like they did because of that flexi wing. But like if that gets taken away from them, they might not have a balanced car. Well, I hope so. But during this time, that's where Red Bull come in and like swoop that away. And I just don't know if they get that taken away from them, that their car is going to have enough control on the back and the front. Because that's what the flexi wing does. It gives them the downforce at the front when they need it, and then releases it so that the back end doesn't scoot out in the corners. So it gives them everything that they need. Where Red Bull found the balance, the true balance without the flexi wing, right? So like they figured out the exact thing that they needed, whether or not the flexi wing existed. So that's why they didn't start playing that game. But I don't know if Mercedes and McLaren are going to remain on that trajectory, assuming that obviously they're both smart enough people. I'm sure someone along the lines like, hey, we should probably figure out option B, for the first 5 races, but they might not have it. And that's a big problem for McLaren and Mercedes, I think, going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying they're just going to drop essentially, and it's going to be a
I think assuming that everyone, improved at the same pace over the winter break, I think McLaren is probably going to come out very strong. I think Ferrari's got a great car. They're going to come out strong. I think Mercedes isn't going to start where they need to be, I think, just from my predictions. And I think Red Bull is going to be, 3rd or 4th in the pack. Like, I think, it's going to be very similar to what we looked at last year. And they got, 5-6 races to figure it out?
Also, just like what happened with Red Bull last year, they came out strong first
Nailed
few races.
Nailed it.
And then after, like, the entire pack caught up.
Correct.
And that was it. It was like a down. I see it. I see it.
That's where I was going with all that. So what do you guys think about this flexi wing thing? Do you think that this is going to be a big enough issue that third quarter way through the season. I think it's Spain that they're putting this regulation change in. Do you guys think that McLaren and Mercedes have a chance if they don't figure out this flexi-wing thing?
I do. I really think they do have a chance. Like you said, they have engineers and smart people working. They're going to find a way around it or design something new. Might not be right away, obviously. It's going to take some time. And I don't know. We know how big of an advantage that flexi wing is, but I don't know if it's going to be a huge drop right away. It might be a little, but I don't think it's going to be as big as we expected.
Okay, fair enough.
So here's a question.
Questions with questions. I like
Questions
it.
with questions.
I like it.
So in your little
World.
Spiel.
there, you mentioned, Red Bull was the only team that was able to find the true balance without a flexi wing.
Yes.
They eliminate flexi wings. Why? And we know we just gave our predictions on who's going to be F1 champion this year. No one said Max. Red Bull is not in the conversation. So they remove this little flexi wing. What's to say that Red Bull, if they had the true balance, is not going to regain that dominance?
I think Ferrari figured out that balance too.
Did they?
Somewhere in that middle, because they're not playing that flexi wing game, and they still surpassed Red Bull at a very quick rate at the end of the year because they got two drivers, man. They got two drivers, man.
They did. Okay, so are we completely writing off Max for a championship this year?
Like, he's the guy that would make me put my foot in my mouth, but yes. Yes.
It's just he has not been part of the conversation.
As he shouldn't be.
Champion.
Prick.
I don't think Max is going to do a lot for the 2025 season. For the fact that he's about to be a dad.
He's a dad, I think, already, isn't he?
Is he a dad already?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, Papa Max? I don't know. I haven't
With
seen
his
any
own
baby
baby
photos.
or with his
With
chicks?
his own baby.
With his own baby?
I think so.
I know he was like an
No,
Insta
I don't think so.
dad.
It's too soon. Too soon. Not yet. I don't think so.
Anyways.
But yeah, like, remember, like, most of his interviews, whenever a reporter would ask him, what do you think your life would be post Formula One? Or do you think that you're going to see yourself beyond your current contract? He always says, like, I see myself doing other things. I see myself, like, not staying in Formula One. And maybe because of all of the controversy, all of the pressure, all of the headaches that they went through last year, I think he's going to step back a little bit. And he'll race, he'll compete, because he hates losing. But I think his focus is going to be on a different level as opposed to last year. I feel that he'll probably be within P3, P4. That's going to be his sweet spot. He'll probably win some races, but championship, I don't see him winning the championship this year.
Or he's going to push before the new regs, and he's going to give it all he got again.
Yeah,
to
but
come
he
out on
can
top.
give it all he got, but, like, look what happened last year. He kept on giving it, kept on losing.
Well, to be fair, he had a very
He still
shitty
won.
teammate last
Like,
year.
let's not forget.
No,
Like,
no,
he
no,
still
yeah,
won by, a decent margin.
Like a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a. I agree. It was a big margin, but, like, I was talking about, like, towards the end or the latter part of the season, he was not.
No. He had those first 6 races, like we talked about, dialed.
And he
But that's because the car was the best.
Exactly.
Hands down.
exactly.
So, to your point, my answer quickly, no, I don't think Max is winning the championship.
Same.
He's going to be like second or third, so no.
But we already answered this question.
Okay, I just wanted to
we got-
reiterate. I just wanted to summarize it, give you a nice little
Summarize it.
package at the end.
Here's who's not winning it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see because I can't picture a world where Max isn't 100% all the time because he's just that intense. I want to win. Like there's one speed, one direction. It's like a
That's forward.
switch, right? Thank you for finishing that. And maybe fatherhood will change him. Maybe
I think it does.
well, it fucking changes everybody.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens to him because if you look at it, a lot of the top drivers are not babies' daddies. When's that last time we had a champion that had a kid?
Alonso's got kids, doesn't he?
Yeah, but at the time they were champions.
Oh,
Raikkonen, no.
Rosberg.
Rosberg was a dad when he was a
Rosberg was a
champion?
dad.
Yeah. And look what happened to him.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it.
Well, we saw how that went.
Yeah. Later. Bye.
That's it. Win a chip and he's out.
Okay, thanks. Bye. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think just the pressure and everything like that, it was hard to kind of maintain that level.
And what's wrong with going to be rich? Like,
absolutely
I
nothing.
keep talking about that, but like, just go be rich then. Like, you're rich. Like, your money can make enough. Like, you're good. You won. You're the best. We get it. You're the best times 5. Whatever. Just be rich. You know.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's it.
That's my game plan.
That's it.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. One free podcast at a time.
The best podcast in the world.
That's it.
Exactly.
Go be rich. Do we want to touch on Mercedes? Because I feel like,
Yes.
are they forgotten? Are they the forgotten Mercedes at this point?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I think with, going back to that same piece again, like the trajectory at the end of the year, Lewis was doing well, George was doing well. The team looked like they had some momentum, some spark in them that like gave them something, because the first half of the season was not looking so hot. And it was tough being a Mercedes fan, I got to say, for like some time, and it
4 years?
Yeah,
3
hey,
years?
whoa. Yeah, we're not talking about. Yes, there was a moment, and then it just, it's gone now. And is there something to hope for? For sure. Do I have the same faith in Kimi Antonelli as Mercedes does? They've seen something I haven't, because they are banking on this kid, and like,
but maybe not for this year.
no, but they see like a multiple champion
For sure.
Like, they've banked on this guy, and I just don't have that same confidence. Like, when I saw Oscar race, I saw it, and like, I just, what? Maybe I haven't seen enough of it.
It seems like they put all their eggs in one basket with this kid
Early.
I feel the same
Yeah.
way, and I don't know why he doesn't stick out to me. Didn't stick out to me before. I haven't seen what he's capable of. So those 2-3 first races are gonna show us, I think, quite a bit what to expect from him.
Sure.
Can he get better in the future? Of course, anyone can. But I don't know. I it's weird what Mercedes did. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, and like I saw it with Colapinto. I saw like glimpses of greatness, and I was like, okay,
Liam Lawson, same thing.
Even Lawson, yeah, and like he lost those moments of greatness, but like I saw them. Like, I was like, okay, this guy. Like,
In fairness, though, they had competitive time in an F1 car.
kinda,
Kimi has not had that yet.
yeah,
He had
ish,
one testing session.
and he binned it.
Yeah. And the
Well,
parabolic.
listen, we're applauding Lewis for doing the exact same thing.
We're not applauding Ludus. We brought it up, and he was legitimately worried about it.
I was.
Okay,
That wasn't an applause. It
no,
was like
we're talking about how like pushing the limit and finding the limits of the
Sure,
car,
right. Sure.
are like what you do.
on your second day on the job, maybe not your first. You know what I mean? Lewis has 7 ships to bank on, and like, anyway, I get what you're saying for sure. Do I think Kimi Antonelli's the answer? I hope so, for Mercedes' sake, because they got a lot invested in him, and like, I don't know what their pivot is.
So who's well, fucking, we know exactly what the pivot is. Valtteri.
Thank you.
You know what?
I was waiting for you guys to mention that, because
You know
this guy
what?
is going to be like, yes, Mercedes.
You know what? That's actually not a bad, like, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Do you want to say a few words for your boy?
No.
No, he's the one with the heart on.
Yeah.
So whose team is this? Is this George's team or is this Kimi's team?
George's
team. Yeah,
George's
team.
team.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think George is ready to lead a team?
I think he is. He's been on social a little bit, not to the extent of Lewis Hamilton or the rest of the other drivers, but like he's been saying, like even towards the end of the season, right? He said that he is going to take it to Max Verstappen. He is going to be that enemy of Max Verstappen. He was going to compete with Max Verstappen, which again could be like lofty dreams or whatnot.
Maybe he's just referring to like 2nd to 4th place this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm going to compete with Max in 4th. Like, I'll get 3rd.
So not really championship, but like in terms of like being a leader, I think he has it. I think he is going to take this team and put Kimi Antonelli under his wing and get a lot of information and input from Valtteri Bottas. I think it's a good lineup for Mercedes to kind of like turn the tide and start winning again.
I think they need to give George and Kimi a car to compete, because it's very hard to do any winning when you can't do that. let's assume that they do. Do I think George is ready to lead? I think he's close. I don't know if he's there. I think he's still too emotional. He cries a lot. I know he's got big eyes. I'm sure those tear ducts are just as big, but like he does cry a lot though. No,
Apparently, Liam Lawson, and I saw like a little interview with him on social, and they were going through like the best dress, worst dress, like
Sure.
funniest, and George was the most serious.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's an odd duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he's. I don't know about George. Like
So based
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
point, you know, I kind of thought about this. Can I see George in Lewis's spot? And I keep on coming back, no, because he just doesn't seem to be ready for it. He still needs some, you know, growing up to do or more experience. But I don't see him being as the lead of the team, and neither is the rookie. So they're kind of, in my opinion, without a leader in the team, essentially.
And then we bring in Valtteri. And to your point, Ed, I think if you're talking about like a mentor and a teacher role,
Yes.
I think he's the guy to take that
Yeah,
on.
man.
And I'm sure that's a big part of like why they brought him in, not just to sit in the sim and like, you know, run sessions. It's to like
Sure.
be able to coach somebody like Kimmy because, you know, George is still a young driver himself.
Correct.
Right? He hasn't reached that level of success or proficiency maybe, or maturity, or maybe just self-confidence.
yeah.
I'm just gonna keep saying lots of words here, but I don't know if he's there yet to be that mentor. Like he still feels like he needs to be coached a bit.
Actually, I do see that because like with the way that Valtteri has brought himself with Steak Sauber and with Alfa Romeo when he was driving there, he wasn't great, but he was consistent.
Yes.
The consistency was there.
And he was confident in
Yes.
in whatever.
He didn't care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't care what other people think.
Yeah, he
when he
wasn't
lost
phased.
his seat, he's like, "Okay, what's next?"
What's next?
Whatever, I'll figure it out, kind of.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you know what? You know, I think I see that now, Walker. I think that he will be that driver that's going to be the veteran voice within that group and reel these two young guns in, especially when they're starting to either like with George crying or with Kimi
Let me go right
Antonelli
back to that.
Ryan
binning,
George.
binning
George.
it and all that. So yeah, and I mean, if you want to bring in a reserve driver, more often than not, you want to get like a young gun, but you bring in this veteran, and I guess they're trying to take a page out of the book of Aston Martin, which is pretty much failing at this point. Like if you want Fernando Alonso to be training Lance Stroll, I don't think that's happening over there. So
It
who
looked like
knows?
it at the beginning.
It did.
Did it not? Like, did
Yeah.
it not look like Fernando Alonso was kind of
Took
taking
him
on
on his
that, like,
wing.
Yeah.
that, you know, mother hen role and whatever, and was like, you know, sharing brake diffs and all that kind of stuff with them. And it just looked like he was willing. Well, you know what the difference was? They were winning.
Yes.
That was when Fernando got on the mic and was like, "You're going to see me on the podium every single race this year." Like that lasted 3 more races.
Yeah.
And then the car just fell off. Do you think that they're trying to invest some serious money into making that car great? Yeah. At $20 million a year, kind of great. You know, so they obviously want it. But do I see... Okay, so let's break this down. Then you have, driver pairings. Let's go with Pierre Gasly and Doohan. Pierre has that. Like, I can see Doohan learning from Pierre. You know, then you have Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon. Do I see Carlos Sainz as a leader and can, like, help Albon? I could see both of them doing it because Albon already had that role. Then you have Nico Hulkenberg and
Bortoletto.
Bortoletto.
Yeah.
I can see, you know what I mean? Like, they all have that, except even Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Like, I can still see that leadership thing. I just don't know if I'm sold on George. Right? That's my
So I
two
guess
cents.
leader of the team would be
Valtteri Bottas.
There you go.
This is Valtteri's team, guys.
Yeah. We're still coming back to it. After all the math done,
I
it's
think
still
we're also
Valtteri.
kind of forgetting, you know, the last couple of years was with him with Steak Sauber and Alpha, but you know, before that he was at Mercedes and he did really well with Lewis at Mercedes too. But then again, you know, they had a car that could actually compete.
Correct.
So
You want a napkin? You're drooling a little bit.
Oh, no, that's something else.
That's not true. That's not true. Yeah, that's not true.
Mother truck.
You guys are sick.
Oh my God.
Guys are
Get your head out of the gutter.
Do we want to kind of, while we're on this topic, you just mentioned some of the other teams, do we want to talk about best of the rest? Or no?
You know what I want to talk about? I want to
Please.
talk about Alpine.
They
Right?
count? They count?
Yeah, okay, that counts as the best. But like, there was just something that happened when you sneaky steal Franklin Colapinto after already giving Jack Doohan the seat. It's not a look. Like, I don't know if Jack Doohan's going to finish the season. If he doesn't put together like 6, 7, 8 good races, he's not going to finish the season because Colapinto looked nice at Williams. And, you know, they're bringing that F1 exhibit that we went to. They're bringing that to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So they're investing in Brazil. Something's not ticking and talking at the same time. Like, I just don't think that Jack Doohan's that call. Like, I think his leash is very short, and I think Colapinto will jump in there.
Do you think because they signed him as a reserve driver?
I think that's more than a reserve driver. I think that's a very quick backup.
Interesting.
Like a De Vries situation.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of fell
see
off at
that.
the end of the year, though.
Colapinto, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's just rookie nerves. Like, I think he came out of the gate hot and then kind of just like, yeah, I agree. But I think he has it in him. I think Colapinto has it in him. And when all the little bit of F2 that I'd watched, Colapinto was my guy.
Yeah.
Him and Isaac Hadjar slapped. Like, Ollie Behrman, Kimi Antonelli, they were whatever. Which is why I don't know what these guys see in them, Ferrari and Mercedes see in those boys. But yeah, Hadjar and Colapinto were my guys.
To be fair, though, Doohan did shave his head, so he will be slightly quicker.
Aerodynamic. He's gonna be
Aerodynamic,
so
full.
slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be so slick.
Weight reduction, dude.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it. He
So-
couldn't. He already lost his appendix. He already lost his appendix, so we got to do some weight reduction.
What else can I remove?
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
It's really interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. So we got Doohan, maybe Colapinto, Alpine. So where do these teams net out at the end? Right. We got. Let's throw
Top four is a
Aston in
given.
there.
We've already given top four.
So we got Aston, Alpine, Haas, Williams, Steak Sauber.
Steak Sauber, that's right. Thank you.
That's not that. I guess it's best of the rest, but that's like bottom.
That's the bottom.
Yeah.
That's only 5 though. We need 6.
Haas.
He
You mentioned it
Haas,
already.
yeah.
Oh, what are we missing?
Who are we missing? Because there's 4 in the top, or there are 5 in the top.
4.
4 in the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many did you have?
4.
What team are we missing? Are we missing
We
a
had
team?
Aston, we had Haas,
Mm-hmm.
we had
We'll be right back. Carry on.
Yeah.
Aston, Haas, Alpine, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Racing Red Bulls. That's what we're
Oh,
missing.
you.
Yeah,
Oh,
V-Carb.
the cap.
Yeah, Yuki.
Fucking V-Carb. What are they called now?
Are they
RB
even
Bulls?
Yeah, Racing Bulls. Yeah,
It's just Racing Bulls.
Racing
Yeah,
Bulls.
not V Carb. V's has nothing to do with them anymore.
Well, I don't think it's official yet, but they keep on mentioning in the news that it's Red Bull and the Racing Bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Racing Bulls.
so
Thank you.
Visa
That's what I was
Cash
missing.
App Racing Bulls is just Racing,
Racing
Bulls.
Bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tighten it up.
Yeah.
Tighten it up. Okay.
Okay.
Better.
So there we go. 6 teams in
Whatever
the back.
teams,
Whatever
yeah.
teams in the back. Where do they net out? Let's talk about them because that's that was a fun race. That was a fun championship race at the end of last season.
Yes.
Big time.
When Alpine pulled fucking Brazil out of their ass and got a whack load of points.
Yes.
So where does everyone net out? Or at least give me 5 and 6. Who's at the front of that pack?
Oh, Aston Martin. I would argue Aston Martin, Haas, and Williams,
Yeah.
just because of the driver lineup. I think unless the Racing Bulls pull out a crazy car for those guys, I don't think they're it.
I would say
I think that also very quickly. I
Yeah.
think this is Yuki's last year with anything RB.
well, he is the reserve driver in RB right now in Red Bull.
Sure. But I think this is his last year, anything to do with the
Anything.
Red Bull family. He's gone.
He's done.
I think he's more likely to be at Haas when
Honda makes
correct.
Yeah.
And when Behrman goes to Ferrari, I think that's where Yuki's gonna go. I can see that higher. That's down the road though. Moving on.
Okay, that's another monster all to itself. I see 5, 6 as Williams and I'd say Racing Bulls.
over Aston Martin and Haas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
You don't think Newey's going to do anything?
No.
Not this
soon.
year.
Too soon.
Nothing.
I think they're banking for next year.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised at both of your answers. I'm with you, Drew.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely gonna.
That guy literally looks at a car and it goes faster.
Thank you.
Yeah, he walks in the garage, boom, 20 horsepower.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I don't know. Too soon. Too soon to say.
I think Aston's going to fall
Yeah.
down
Worse.
the rankings.
Yeah.
Worse, yeah. Newey and all.
Huh.
It ain't going to help. I got Haas and
Racing Bulls.
Williams.
Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Austin
I think
Williams.
Yes.
both of those things are going to happen.
Yeah, I like.
Let's
the way
assume that they have enough parts to give these guys cars. I don't think these guys are as keen to crash them. Albon, that was a weird crash year for him. That's not par for the course for him. That was a little
Definitely not. I've never seen him crash so much in his entire career.
And that begs the question: is that a car problem? Because they were both crashing a lot.
100%.
It
It's
was
a car
It was a
problem.
car problem.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Where I think if Colapinto was the only one doing it, and what was the other kid's name that was there for half a season? That
Logan
American
Sargent.
guy, Logan Sargent. Yeah,
Yeah.
we forgot about him. Bless his heart. Logan
Yeah.
Sargent. See ya. They were crashing too much, man. And Albon pulled some tricky moves, and he got banged up a little bit. But if Williams gives those two guys a decent car, I think we're going to be very surprised. I think with Haas too.
Yeah, I have more faith. I think my faith in those two teams lies in the management.
Yes.
Right, and I love how the Haas team came together and how they were kind of being operating by the end of last season. And I like how the Williams teams operate, and I think they will both punch above their weight in terms of, resources and race wins. Not race wins,
Yeah.
excuse me, but race performances.
I'm a big fan of James Vowles.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he wasn't with Williams so that I have something more to cheer for, but I think he's a long-term play there, and I think he's going to take them out of the gutter. He already did. He already has.
Yep.
He already has taken them out of the gutter.
Yeah.
And what's that Japanese fella's name?
Which one? For Haas?
Komatsu?
For Haas, yeah.
Komatsu.
Komatsu.
Yeah,
I'm all on board. He swooped in. Obviously, Gunther
did
Steiner was
something right.
He has to.
Yeah.
That's
Can you
what I'm
imagine
saying.
what a shit show that place would have been with like Gunther Steiner leaving?
Probably still is at this point.
and
And he was
who-
just like putting everything all together and like, let's go.
But who would have thought that Gunther Steiner, like the poster boy of Formula One Drive to Survive, was the problem?
Yeah.
Like the big.
Oh,
you
I
know
think it was
what?
pretty
I was
obvious.
just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say, I'm like,
Are you
yeah.
kidding me?
Reflecting back,
Yeah.
it's probably obvious
Yeah.
that he was the problem.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
entertaining as hell, but like he's got to be like a terrible person to work for.
Yeah, and work with. Yeah. He's not the guy.
No, he's not the guy.
Yeah.
So much to look forward to.
Lots.
Cannot
Hell
fucking
yeah.
wait.
Let's
Let's go. Let's go. We have testing when? Like another month?
Not even.
End of February?
Yeah, it's end of this month.
End of
Yeah,
February, so we got a few
And
more
don't we
weeks.
got the launch soon? Like the 14th or 15th?
Fuck that shit. You know, let's save that for another.
I'm just saying, don't
Say
wait
that.
soon. It's soonish.
Let's save that for another episode.
All right,
because
all right.
We all have thoughts on that.
Yeah, we do.
It's beautiful to see your faces.
Right?
Yeah. As you know, there's only one way to put a ribbon on this episode. No note taking, buddy. No cheating.
No, I'm hosting it, so don't worry.
Oh, you're hosting
I'm
it.
hosting
forgot?
it.
You remember?
You're done.
No, I don't.
You are out.
Oh, I was preparing. I had a whole
no,
spreadsheet.
what?
In his defense, I walked up to his car, knocked on the window. I thought he was doing work for business or whatever. Nah, buddy was prepping.
You know what? This is your only shot, only episode where you get to host.
Okay.
I'll give you that since you
No,
did the prep.
Yeah, no.
Well, then
okay.
it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Continuity. Like let's finish this episode.
Timothy, what'd you say?
Continuity.
Continuity.
Yeah,
That one.
I pronounce it a different way. But anyway, like
Like it's the wrong way. Continuity. Yeah.
it
Continuity.
doesn't matter. Potato.
Potato, tomato. It's like a different word, dude.
I told you got a rip on the hem.
I know.
Okay.
I've been
You know
taking
what?
it easy.
Maybe this can be like the handoff, the handover.
Okay,
Okay.
there you go. Okay.
Is
It's
that
a
what you're gonna
practice
say?
warm-up round, season 3, first epi. Let him have it.
Okay.
Okay.
But can we give him like A low and slow round of applause for being prepared, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's give him a low.
You want?
slow.
No, you can go, man.
No, it's okay. You did
Well, no,
the
because you're
work.
halfway
Exactly.
cheated
This-
by making the notes. You're studying indirectly.
kind of.
No, yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this
I
goes.
actually, I've been looking forward to this.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Name That Sponsor is our favorite game.
The only game.
Game music.
Name that sponsor. Name that sponsor. Okay.
Okay. It's really simple. I'm going to name sponsors within F1. You're going to tell me what team they sponsor and what the company does.
Bingo. Let's go.
Really simple. First one. Boys, ready?
No, let go.
You guess first. You get first dibs. Ready?
Yay.
Well, he studied. He wrote questions.
That's
Studied,
fine.
watch, and I was thinking probably gonna get them
Oh, yeah,
wrong. And
guaranteed.
you guys are gonna rip at me.
Guaranteed.
So.
Yeah.
First one. First sponsor. NGK.
Ferrari spark plugs.
Okay.
Fuck, that was so confident.
Same.
Okay.
Well, I have to just for solidarity.
That is correct. We are 3 for 3.
Wow, it's a first.
That
Fucking
was
big.
see what I'm
sp-
saying? When he's doing the homework, he's also studying.
To be fair, I also tried to choose some Thomas-friendly sponsors, things
Okay.
that he might know.
Oh,
Fair.
I thought
See,
spark plugs. I thought spark plugs would be like
okay.
a fucking giveaway for you,
That's fair.
given your hobbies. No clue. Okay, you guys can go
wouldn't have
first
got,
now.
I wouldn't have got that.
Okay,
yeah.
Drew, you go first. Ready?
Yeah, sure, buddy.
B&O.
E-N-O. They're going to be on Williams, and they are a muffler company.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a Thomas-friendly answer.
Yeah. BNO.
B&O.
Oh,
B ampersand.
Oh, that changes everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You,
Okay,
you,
you can-
know
you can-
that.
you can go
I know
again.
you know that.
I don't. Air intakes.
Okay.
Filters. Air filters. Intakes.
I would say BNO, Bang and Olufsen.
Bang & Olufsen.
That's the brand. Mercedes and audio equipment.
Audio equipment.
Bang & Olufsen will be the... If it was Bang & Olufsen, you would say Bang & Olufsen. You wouldn't say B&O.
On the sponsor sheet, it said B.
It is BNO. That's their short
So-
acronym for it.
That's so much bullshit.
You?
Mercedes audio.
Yeah, speaker manufacturer.
Should we bleep that?
Speaker manufacturer.
Yes, YouTube hates that word. That's a no-go
yeah.
word. Yeah.
Yeah,
What,
bleep
cunt?
that,
Cunts, yeah.
please.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one say.
DK, you make.
Get it all out of the system now.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a speaker manufacturer and not mufflers, intakes, whatever the fuck you said. And it's Ferrari again.
Oh, okay.
Number 3.
I had Bang & Olufsen in my Mercedes.
Well, then you should have fucking known.
Yeah. Well, it was
Number
B&O.
3. If you had a Bang & Olufsen, that you would know it's known as B&O. Anyways, you're upset. I can tell. Take a moment.
That's it. The comeback's going to be incredible this year.
Let's go.
Adidas.
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 It's like Adidas, but more German.
It is a German.
It is.
It is.
And you
Adidas.
And you guys kill me for continuity.
Shoes, clothing,
Sportswear.
sportswear, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Team.
I'm gonna say Ferrari.
Okay.
I don't think it's Ferrari because I know Ferrari's with Puma.
I actually looked up.
I shouldn't have said that. No, you would know that.
All right. Ed.
I would, yeah,
Don't tell us who it's not.
yes, sporting equipment, clothing. No. Let's go with Haas.
Sportswear Racing Bulls.
Okay. You sound very confident in that.
I just didn't want to waste any more time. These guys are just.
Oh my God.
Well, we got a clock right there.
we
Jesus.
do a clock.
Relax.
It is sportswear, which we all know,
Sure.
and Mercedes. I can't believe you guys didn't know this one. I thought that was a softball. Like they just did the big switch over from Puma to Adidas.
Was it Adidas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah. There's all this social shit about it.
Yeah. You're right. I'm wrong. Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, That went just as expected.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like home.
Yeah.
Boys, this is a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Great being back. 2025. So much to look forward to. This has been Formula One True North, the Canadian Formula One podcast. We'll be back next week. Until then,
Ciao
ciao
for now.
It's lights out and away we go.